Hi everyone, in this class we are going to discuss about Hoover's theory of industrial location. Edgar M. Hoover's 1948 text, The Location of Economic Activity, revolutionized spatial economics. Rather than relying solely on abstract mathematics, Hoover used empirical data from United States industries to build a framework bridging pure economics with the messy reality of living cities. Okay, the transition from abstract theory to empirical reality. Non-linear transport, recognizing that moving goods involves complex rate structures and fixed loading cost rather than simple straight line distances. Substitution principle, balancing higher transport cost against lower production cost like cheaper labor or rent to find a true least cost location. Dynamic forces, acknowledging that industrial locations are living ecosystems subject to constant change over time due to external microeconomics pressures. Okay, these are three key characteristics of Hoover's industrial location theory. Now the paradigm shift in locational analysis. Okay, Alfred Weber provides his industrial location theory in 1909. On the other hand, Edgar M. Hoover provided his theory in 1948. On the basis of transport cost assumption, according to Alfred Weber, linear cost assumes transport expenses increase steadily and equally with distance. On the other hand, according to Edgar M. Hoover, non-linear cost proves complex freight rates with high fixed terminal cost and tapering curves. In terms of locational flexibility, static model, according to Alfred Weber, fixed variables creating a permanent optimal geographic location, fixed variable. On the other hand, Edgar M. Hoover provided a dynamic model. According to him, living variables driven by continuously changing macroeconomic forces. Okay, living variables dependable. On the basis of analytical focus, theoretical deduction in Alfred Weber's theory based on pure mathematical geometry and idealized assumptions. And empirical grounding, according to Edgar M. Hoover's theory, based on actual observed data from United States industries. In terms of locational preference, intermediate allowance permits locations halfway between raw materials and markets. Primary node requirements argues industries must locate at nodes due to mandatory logistical constraints. Okay, these are basic differences between Alfred Weber's and Hoover's industrial location theory. Now there are four assumptions of the idealist world. Okay, perfect competition, perfect information, rational economic man, and isotropic plane. Perfect competition means a marketable populated place by a large number of independent producers and consumers. Okay, there are a large number of various independent producers and consumers, and this is a marketable marketplace population area. Then perfect information, consumer and producers possesses complete knowledge of prices and cost across all geographic locations. Okay, on the every geographical locations, the consumers and producers know about the price and cost of every products. Then rational economic man, producers act purely to maximize profits through strictly rational and economic decision making. And lastly, the isotropic plane, the landscape is complete, flat and uniform, meaning transportation cost increase evenly in all directions without geographic barriers. Okay, this is a plane area, no geographical up and downs. Okay, the fundamental equation of location. According to Hoover's, this is the formula. Total cost, that means X as the final price of the commodity in a perfectly competitive market, is equal to production cost plus transport cost. Okay, production cost indicates capital plus labor plus raw materials, all combined and get the production cost. Producers seek the lowest possible location for these variables. And transportation cost, terminal cost, that means loading and uploading, and haul distance. Okay, this acts as the dominant spatial force when production costs are equal across competitors. Okay, the substitution principle of this theory, industrial location theory provided by Hoover, firms achieve the optimal location by substituting cost, accepting a higher transport cost if the production cost savings, example, significantly cheaper labor outweigh the difference. Okay, this is the mathematical equation of his theory. Now the disproportionate cost of the short haul, the y-intercept, fixed transfer cost, loading, uploading and dock fees apply before the goods move a single mile. Okay, this is the diagram and line. Old assumption is linear and Hoover's tapering curve. This is the Hoover's tapering curve, old living assumption. The tapering effect means because terminal costs are fixed, long distance transport becomes progressively cheaper per mile than short haul transport. Okay, this is the transport cost, and this slide indicates distance accordingly. The rejection of the intermediate location. Hoover argued that locating an industry at an intermediate point is almost always economically unviable for transport-oriented industries. Suppose this is the market M, this is the raw material 1, this is the raw material 2, and this is the L. And the logistical dead zone, and the L is known as the logistical dead zone. Primary nodes, markets and raw materials, these are primary nodes. And already possess established logistical equipment, cranes, docks, and freight infrastructure. An intermediate location lacks this equipment, okay, making the mandatory uploading and reloading of goods financial prohibited. Okay, this is unnecessary according to this theory. Note industries will locate at either the market or a raw material source like R1 or R2. Raw material source like R2 if the material is heavy and weight losing, such as iron. Isothemes and the boundaries of influence. Mapping market dominance. By mapping isothemes, isothem means lines connecting zones of exactly equal transport cost. Okay, equal transport cost is shown as a line and is known as isothemes. From multiple production centers, we find the exact boundary line where transport cost from competing adjacent centers become equal. This line acts as an economic border, defining the absolute edge of a farm's profitable consumer catchment area. If a consumer lives beyond this line, he will rationally purchase from the competitor. The illusion of permanence. Mathematical nodes and transport curves determine the initial location, but cities are living organisms. Okay, they are expanding day by day. To understand industrial geography, we must move from a static map to a dynamic landscape ruled by the forces of centralization and decentralization. The pull forces of centralization. Urbanization, cities naturally accumulate superior human infrastructure, attracting both talent and capital through better education, health facilities, transport links, and administrative services. Then externalities, locating near competitors provides free benefits access to a specialized labor pool, rapid technology sharing, and cheaper raw materials due to supplies economies of scale. Agglomeration effects. When externalities and urbanization combine, they create an economic supercluster. Firms must join the cluster simply to remain price competitive. Okay, this is a pull factor, the force of centralization. Similarly, the push factors, force of decentralization. Rising rent, overcrowding creates severe land shortage, driving real estate costs so high that firms lose their initial agglomeration advantages. And costly labor congestion, environmental degradation, severe traffic congestion, and high housing costs destroy quality of life. Laborers demand higher wages simply to serve every city. Diminishing returns, the hyper-concentrated demand for the local raw materials spikes their prices, making operations within the cluster fundamentally unsustainable. Okay, this is push factor, process of decentralization. Now the life cycle of an industrial hub. Phase 1, nascent location. A single firm identifies a least cost mathematical location based on Hoover's transport equations. Phase 2, agglomeration. The pull forces take over, competitors, supplies, and skilled labor flood the area, driving massive economic prosperity. Phase 3, the necropolis. Louis Mampo's classification, the city hit its absolute density limit, external benefits stop, lighted by congestion and rent. Okay, we'll discuss about this Louis Mampo's theory in our next class. Phase 4, outward migration. The push forces dominate. Farms flee the decaying center to seek new uncongested locations, starting the cycle anew. Okay, this is the life cycle of industrial hub according to Hoover's theory. Now, modern shocks to the spatial blueprint, technological redundancy, traditional locations, factors, and erased by new technology, information technology, that is IT. Industries can locate anywhere globally given internet access, serving the need for physical clustering. Fast modern transport alters the traditional tapering curve. And artificial policy shifts, government interventions overrides pure economics. Tax holidays and subsidies designed to develop backward areas artificially pull industries away from established clusters. Historical example, the Pittsburgh decline. Pittsburgh's iron and steel agglomeration collapsed not just due to a local degglomeration, but because technological shift and globalized trade competition rendered its once optimal geographic location obsolete. The Hoover's framework, a complete mental model. Phase 1, the static calculation. Step A, calculate production cost, labor plus capital. Step B, calculate transport cost, terminal plus holog. Step C, map items to establish boundaries of market influence is equal to leads to result. Identify the theoretical least cost model. Note theoretical minimum. Phase 2, the dynamic adjustment. Step D, apply centralization forces, agglomeration and externalities. Step E, monitor decentralization forces, rent, congestion and Mumford's necropolis. Ultimately leads to results, the continuous living relocation of industry over time, continuous spatial revolution. Hoover's ultimate legacy was proving that the industrial map is never truly finished. It is a permanent negotiation between the mathematics of distance and gravity of human behavior. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any doubt and query, just let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thank you.